Good morning, everyone. Sherry from Granny's Sewing Room. I'm going to record another video of me cutting out my second PDF projection file. This time I'm going to cut out my favorite one so far is the Ellie and Mac Slow Sunday dress. I've already made it before, so I know I do not have no adjustments to make. So I am going to walk you through it and show you from the computer and down, and try to make full sentences when I start talking. I noticed in my last video, and I do this a lot, I start a sentence and I never finish it, and I'm just assuming everybody knows what the rest of it's going to be. So I'm going to try to finish every sentence I start this time. Sorry. But anyway, I'm going to try it with my computer glasses to see if I can see the computer better. But I want to show you how I pull up, start the projector and pull up Adobe and pull down the file. And I want you to be able to see how I rotate it and everything like that instead of just looking down here. And then we'll look down at the fabric when I'm ready to start cutting. So I hope this is so helpful for everybody that's wanting to get on board with a projector. And right now I have 2 mats on this table, and I have 2 yards of fabric. And it's not as easy as my longer table and wider table out there, but I'm going to make do. I'm going to learn this system, and I'm not going to let it defeat me. So far it hasn't. It's been a very easy process. This is the top I made yesterday. I don't think I'm going to hem the sleeves. It doesn't really need it, but I have to hem the bottom just because I already ironed it up and I cut the back too long. My mistake by pulling up the file up on the fabric, and I didn't adjust the fabric to match the shoulders, and so I cut the top out too small, too short, and that was my fault. So there's things you got to pay attention to, and it's a learning curve, so I will just try to do better paying attention to everything. But I do not want to destroy this dress. This is my favorite fabric and my favorite dress. And what else? Well, that's it, so let's get started. Fingers crossed. Has anyone told you you're special today? If not, let me be the first, because you are in God's eyes. Turning the projector on here. And I'm using Adobe. So once see 9 foot, I'm just under 5 foot. Alright, so Adobe, I know we have to go to source. I don't have to hit setup anymore because I've already set it up. I wonder if I could make that larger. So that's something I got to look into. So I have my fabric set out already. So I'm just going to turn you over to the computer so you can see me pull up my files from Adobe. Give me a minute. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to pull up Adobe. I'm going to go to, it's right here, but I'm going to go to File, Open, and then you go to where you have it stored, and I have all these files stored. So my sewing patterns, my PDF patterns, go to my Ellie and Mac, and then I scroll down until I find my dress. And then I look for the PDF that says A as in apple, O. And there it is. Now I'm going to show you what my fabric looks like. I turned my fabric inside out today. So there's the pattern on my fabric. And I think the first thing I need to do is find the square to see where right here. Required piece front. That's the seam allowance. And it should have it on here. Now, if I want to get rid of this window right over here, let me see if you can see. There's a window right over here, and it's just the side panel over there. Oh, you move it out of the way. And I have to go look and see where because I want to measure, there should be a square to measure my pattern pieces. And it should have been the very first one. So I'm not understanding why it's not. So let me shut this off for a minute so I can find the square to make sure my pattern pieces are square. Just a moment. And I found it. It is on the last page of the Ellie and Mac, because that's the first page that prints out. So I'm going to make sure I have one square. And it is one square. So the pattern is good to go. Now I'm going to start clicking on the sizes that I don't want. And it's taking them off over here. And let me see when I say layer. I don't know what layer is. Well, I want all that information. Okay, there's my dress. Now this time, I think I do not want this much flare, so I'm going to do it just a little bit different. Now I got to rotate my pattern piece to go on my fabric. This is my fabric. So I go to Edit. Nope, I go to View, up here on View, and I hit Rotate View clockwise. And I want to keep doing that until I get it where I need it. Rotate View clockwise. Rotate View clockwise. There it is right here. So I'm going to pull up my pattern piece. This just takes a little getting used to, folks. Now here's where I have the problem of not knowing where. Let me see if I can close this window. Alright, that brings it up more. See, now I want my fabric. I want to slide my fabric down so it starts here. Because now if my projector was a little wider, that would be perfect. And this is where I'm going to first test the waters of me moving down and not messing it up. So first of all, I'm going to move my pattern down to where it's on in the projector image. And now I have to adjust my fabric because I do not want to waste all that fabric. So I'm just going to slide my fabric down. and I'm going to slide my fabric over. Maybe I should make a top out of this. Because here's the fold line. My fold line right there. I'm going to straighten this out because I'm going to be able to mark this, and I'm going to have to pull my fabric up where I mark it so I can cut out where I need to cut the hem. So let's just pull it up and see what it looks like. All right, so there's how long I want it. So I'm thinking, get that over to the fold again. I'm going to mark right here, and when I slide this up, I don't know, but there's got to be a way. So I wonder if I should draw this out first and slide it up. I think that's what I might do. I want the scoop. All right, I put this down on the floor just to see if I could get my projection to be larger, which I could. So now I got the full Ellie and Mac dress pattern out, so I can lay my fabric out. I will have to crawl around on the floor, but it was easy to recalibrate it. Now the only thing you do to recalibrate is to bring up the squares and triangles that you download from Projector Sewing Group. And then once you get it, let me get down here, once you get it so it's with your square on your mat, then you start hitting your, now this is for Adobe Reader. I don't know if you have a different application or not, but to recalibrate, to make your screen larger, in my case I wanted it the full dress. I did not like moving my fabric around. I'm just not comfortable doing that yet. But in Adobe Reader, you pull up the image that you downloaded from Projector Sewing Group on Facebook, bring in the squares and rectangles, and then you line it up with that square on your mat, and you want to make sure your projection's square and level. Then you hit Control Y, and then you just start putting in numbers. Now in this case, since it's on the floor, I ended up with 24.4 for my calibration. And if I put it back up on the table when I'm just doing tops or shorts, but for pants and dresses, I will need to put it on the floor. And once, whoop, wait a minute, something went down. Hang on. Now this seems to be happening quite a bit. See where it says no signal? and I'm in Adobe. I'm using the cord to plug in, not Wi-Fi, and it stops on me and says no signal. My projector is still running. No signal. Let me touch my computer. Maybe that. Nope. Oh, so okay, my computer shut down. My my laptop shut down. It timed out, so that's why no signal. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so to recalibrate for Adobe, you get your squares up that you downloaded and square it up to the square you have on your mat. You hit Control Y, and then you start in typing numbers in that little box that comes up until you get those squares to match. The 12-inch, 8-inch, and the 1-inch, you know, the box right there in the middle. Mine was, I had to reset it to 24.4, but now the whole dress fits. So I'm going to put the fabric back on and show it to you what it looks like. Okay, I have my dress laid out, and before I put it on the floor, I could only get it to project to this line. So what I was going to do was I marked it with a water-soluble pen, and I was going to scoot my fabric up. But I didn't like that method, so I thought I'm going to try to do it on the floor. And I'm glad I did decide to, because now I know I do not have enough fabric, so I'm going to have to take maybe an inch off of this fabric so I can be able to do both sides of the dress, so I'll have enough for both sides. It's just going to be a little shorter of a dress, but this is what I want. So I'm going to get it adjusted, get it marked for me to take off an inch, and then I will set it up so you can watch me cut it out. And I am on the floor, so I'll be back. Okay, so I have my dress all laid out, and I have to remove about 1 inch from the trim, or from the hem, because I don't have enough fabric. I only have 2 yards. So I am just going to mark it, and I think I ought to put weights on my fabric just so it doesn't move on me. But this way I can cut the whole pattern out without moving the fabric. So I am hoping 1 inch will do it. And I will just do a very narrow hem. And I'm going to go get my French curve, and I'll be right back. And I'm not going out as wide with this dress like my other one. So I hope this gives me enough fabric. And I'm going to cut on this line instead of out there. I'm not going with that extra fabric. And if it doesn't give me enough for my armbands, which I believe it will, then I'll have to have a short sleeve dress. All right. I love this fabric. Wish me luck. I'm wearing the top I made yesterday. I just need to hem it. I'm not going to hem the arms of it. And here we go. I guess this is how you learn. And that's how you learn. I should have scissors in here. Well, that lined up good. Oh, I know what. I have two mats joining here. That's why it's not getting in there. Okay, the front's cut out. I'm going to lay the fabric out and work on the back and then do the bands. But don't be scared to calibrate. It's really easy. And the floor's not killing me that much to just do it quickly and get off of here. So let me put, this is the front, so I put one pin. And I see no marks. So the front's done. I'll be back. Alright, so I laid my back half out. I still didn't have enough. Here's where the pattern, I have 4 inches. So this is the back. So what I'm going to do is try to piece something at the end of it. And it's the back, you won't see it. And I don't care because I don't go anywhere, but I love this fabric. So I'm cutting out the back, and right here is where I should be cutting, actually 1 inch above. So I need to mark this at least 1 inch to know where I'm going to be going. And I'm going to do a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So let's do 1 inch first so I don't get myself all confused, which is easily done. So this is an inch that I would be cutting off. And then I want a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So that's going to be my cutting line. I'll tell you, if I don't hurt after this, I don't know. So I'm going to match that up. Because that's the line I want to cut on. And then I'll see how I'm going to match it up. But here I go. If all else fails, I can make a top out of it. Now I know not to move my fabric because it's not going to be cut right there, because and where's my scissors? Thought I brought some in. Easy peasy. So I'm not going to move this because I still want to line something up there. So let's see how I can do that. But for now, I am going to end this video. So I hope this was helpful, guys. And I don't know if you can see me, but have a good day. Not a quick video, but just a video to show you that it does project larger. It just has to have a further distance from the lens to the floor. And so when I'm cutting out my larger dress patterns and pants, I'll be doing it on the floor. When I'm doing tops, I will be doing it on a table. The calibrating isn't hard. You just pull up the square that you download from Projector Sewing Group on Facebook, and you start hitting, once you get it lined up on this, you start hitting Control Y and start putting numbers in until you get the squares to match up. Make sure the keystone is up there on your projector. That makes it go forward and backwards, kind of sideways like that. Make sure that's straight, and make sure your projector's square and everything as level as possible. You can do it. It's easy. So have a good day. God bless everyone. Bye.